Hello everyone, so this is going to be a video of me just giving you guys my honest thoughts on what I think of Aldnoah Zero so far. Now I'm a little bit surprised on how little people have actually checked out this anime, but what I'm not surprised about is how some people have reacted and what some people have actually said about this, because a lot of it is stuff I could definitely see and kind of agree with about this anime. Now I'm going to try not to do very many spoilers about this anime, I'm going to try my best, but if I do, then I'm really sorry. Now, when it comes to this anime, the top thing that stands out, and this is, again, the thing that a lot of people notice about this anime, and kind of has to do with what most people think about this anime, is that it has a lot of similarities between this and other animes. It has a lot of similarities to other animes. A great example is Code Geass. Now, this is a mech anime where they get in mech suits and they fight and they shoot and that kind of stuff. And that's kind of similar to, Code Geass in a way, but then again, there's a lot of different mech animes. But one of the other similarities is the fact that, kind of Lelouch, his little sister is, in a way, a princess. And in this anime, there's also a princess and in a white nightgown or dress or whatever. And the other similarity is that it's a little bit unpredictable. I feel like the pacing and the way they handle some things is a little bit similar. For example, in Code Geass, one of the big things that stood out about it is that it was quite unpredictable. It was definitely unpredictable. Even if you thought you knew exactly what was going to happen, most of the time you were probably wrong, or if you were right, you weren't directly right because maybe things just didn't turn out exactly how you wanted or expected, but kind of went in that same direction overall. So that's one of the things people loved about Code Geass. It wasn't overly predictable. It wasn't the same old results, that you would expect in this type of story or anything like that. And this anime is a little bit like that. It's not super unpredictable or anything like that, but sometimes something happens when you least expect it. Now, if you love a lot of action, one of the things about this anime is that so far they haven't really gone on a grand scale of action quite yet, and I'm still waiting for this story to really unravel and for us to get to know more about the universe and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of started off slow, but it's definitely been very interesting. And one of the similarities between this and Attack on Titan, for example, is the fear factor. Now, anybody that has watched Attack on Titan probably agrees that one of the reasons that most people keep on watching it, especially after the first episode, is just how crazy things get and just what crazy things happen. I mean, it's like shortly after you get to know a character, oh, they're dead. I mean, just crazy things happen all the time, and it's hard to walk away from a show like that and not just wonder in your head, what's going to happen? And this show definitely has that fear element, at least at the very beginning of the anime, and they do a really great job of just ending the episodes with either a plot twist or with something just crazy that just like, now I need to watch the next episode. So they do a really great job on that, and sometimes something at the very end of the episode is something unexpected. So it's kind of good how they're actually doing that. And, that's one of the things that's kind of similar to Attack on Titan, but not too much, really. Now, when it comes to the characters, there's a lot of characters I do like, but I will say that the main character, some of his friends, are very dull and boring, especially the one with the blonde hair, I believe, the one that tries to, just walk around talking with people and try to, get in a suit or, be a mechanic or something like that. I mean, he's not the most interesting character. Now, there is a couple of interesting characters, and one of the ones that stands out to me, which I wanted to point out for those of you that are interested in this stuff. If you are a lolly, then there's a particular character you might like in this one. There is a very short, very young-looking little girl with blonde hair, and if you just hear the way her voice sounds, I feel like they purposely put her in that anime, not just because she looks little, and even though she's little, she's actually pretty smart. She actually knows how to drive a big ship and that kind of stuff, so it's pretty cool. But the way her voice sounds, it's like they purposely hired a voice actor that sounded like someone you'd expect to play as like a lolly type character, and they just put that in this anime. So it was kind of a smart thing for them to put that type of character in this anime, made it interesting, and every single time I hear her voice, I just giggle or something, and just like, oh, I know so many people that would be interested in a character like that, and I'm surprised actually when I went on DeviantArt recently, that there wasn't actually any dirty pictures of her. So, the other thing is about this anime is that even though there's not as much action as most people would expect, and definitely not on a grand scale, they do have a good job of the timing of the action. There's a decent amount of action, and sometimes right when things get a little bit boring, and it's one of those like slow-paced kind of episodes, right when you start getting just a slight bit boring, or you start thinking in your head like, oh, this is getting a little bit boring, bam, right then and there, you should be expecting some action, or it'll happen when you least expect it, actually. So the timing is very, very good on that. They do a really great job of actually doing that, so then you're less likely to actually get straight up bored. So if you like a lot of action, then this might satisfy you. And with how this episode, or this show, has been so far, I feel like this series might actually be a little bit longer than most people would expect, or at least this season, because, you know, compared to other animes, not as much has happened within a short amount of time. But things have happened. We've learned more about characters, and there's a lot of stuff that has happened. But it is not just, again, not as fast-paced and that kind of stuff, and they're not skipping ahead a couple of years or anything like that. But then again, they're at war with, you know, people from Mars, which, in case you don't know the plot of the story, I'm not going to try to go too much into it. But the main plot of the story has to do with two groups of human beings that are at war against each other. One of them lives on Mars, and they are trying to fight and defeat the people here on Earth. Now, the people that live up on Mars, they're being labeled as Martians, and they consider themselves to be above and stronger than the people living on Earth. And they call the people on Earth Terrans. So that's another similarity between this and Code Geass, because in Code Geass, even though there was two groups of pretty much the same people, one of them looked down on the other, and they called them 11s. So there's kind of that element in this anime. So they're being called Terrans, which I think has to do with landforms, Terranians, and that kind of stuff. So it kind of makes sense because we're talking about Earth here. But the people on Mars have actually acquired some sort of power within the actual planet itself, and a few people have actually been granted this power, and as a result, they could use this power to power very powerful mech suits. And it's just in ships and just all kinds of stuff. So it's really, really crazy, and that's kind of a cool part of the story, and hopefully we learn more about that. And sorry about the weed eater outside. I'm really, really sorry. Hopefully you don't hear that very much. And when it comes to the art style, it's really hard to explain it. For the most part, things don't look super bright and super vibrant like, you know, Naruto or Code Geass or One Piece. Things have a different kind of look to it. The coloring is a little bit different. The characters' faces are a bit more curved. It has some sort of retro style of like older animes from the 90s and possibly, you know, early 2000s. So it kind of looks older, and if someone told me this was a older anime remade in HD, I would kind of believe them, but with just a little bit of hesitation because it looks a little bit too good. Just a little bit too good to be actually a good HD remake of an older anime. But, you know, so it's a little bit of a mix between new and old, and, you know, I just like the way it actually looks, and they've been just doing a really good job of just being consistent on the art style and not getting sloppy like a lot of other animes do. Now, one of my most favorite things about this anime so far is simply the music. The music is just outstanding. It's really amazing. And if you don't know who does the music in this anime, it's the same composer that did the music in Attack on Titan Season 1, which kind of makes me worried for Season 2 of Attack on Titan because we're supposed to be seeing that pretty soon, and if the person that did the music in Aldnoah Zero in Season 1 of Attack on Titan hasn't already done the music for Season 2 of Attack on Titan, or at least gotten started, or anything like that, then there's a chance we might not see any of the music from the same composer in Season 2, which kind of does suck. Unless they're actually just going to simply wait until they're done doing the music for Aldnoah Zero, and then just bring them back over, you know, to the Attack on Titan team and start making music for Season 2 of Attack on Titan. As long as things turn out well, I'll be happy. But if not, then hey, you'll know why, because the composer was too busy making music for Aldnoah Zero, which is not really exactly a bad thing, but still. But right now, my main focus right now on this anime is hoping that they start expanding the story pretty soon, because I want to see things get like larger on a grand scale and understand more about this universe and this world known as Aldnoah Zero, you know, and just I really want to see a lot more, because even though I love seeing story, interaction with characters, and sometimes slow pacing and that kind of stuff, and even if they put a little bit of action in there, I still want to see things really, really grow and learn more about it. And I feel like we're very limited with how much we actually know about it. We don't really know the big plot twist or anything like that, you know. We have an idea of what the main plot is, but with how things have been so far, I feel like this anime is probably going to either, one, be longer than most animes nowadays, as far as like, you know, one season, or they're just going to have to like release a second season hopefully relatively soon, you know. I don't clearly see a way for them to just end this season early, you know, after just 14 episodes, and actually leave enough to be desired for a second season or anything like that. You know, they're definitely going to have to evolve this universe and do a lot more before they actually wrap up even the first season. So, other than that, I would love to hear what you guys think. Is there anything that just really drives you insane or stands out, or there's anything in particular you really do like about this anime? Make sure to let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys actually think. And again, I understand some people may not like this just because it has those similarities, but it's definitely not just straight up being a copycat. Again, I know I've said that many times, but it's definitely better than most other animes that have tried so hard to copy other animes, even sometimes to the point they have the exact same characters with the same hair colors and just so identical to the point it's kind of stupid and just almost impossible to watch the anime without just realizing how stupid it is or something like that. So, thank you all again, guys, for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.